Premier League stuff is coming thick and fast. It's time for game week number 2 of the Premier League.
And hit by McAllister! Liverpool are the champions for their people, with their people. Declan Rice! Oh! It's a ripper! Marvellous! Oh, that's magnificent! The young guns of Chelsea claim the Champions League prize. Newcastle will be playing Champions League football again. Now, 20 times the champions of England, Liverpool.
Yes, game week 2 is upon us now. Last week's guest, Mr. Alex, has set the benchmark at 29 points. Upon us forever the lights behind me doing something crazy at the moment. But yeah, 29 points is the score of the week. And this week we were meant to have a guest, but he hasn't given me a bit in the time. So boys, if you want a discount on your energy, go and get my discount in the description. New Dan 10 at checkout. Peace. And my first game is going to be on Friday night, which is going to be West Ham versus Chelsea. Now, last time out, Chelsea played against Crystal Palace and drew 0-0 with them on home soil, but West Ham, on the other hand, lost to Sunderland on opening day, which means that both teams are going into this game not in the best of form. Both teams will be after poor starts. I mean, it'll be a tight game, I think. Graham Potter is back at Chelsea again. I think Chelsea will nick it by 1-0. We now go to Man City versus Tottenham Hotspur on game week number 2. Now, City started strongly with a 4-0 victory against Wolves, and Spurs had a win against the Burnley Meister as well. But on recent head-to-heads, Spurs have had success in recent head-to-heads, winning the last meeting last season, one of them. But I mean, Man City, they're Man City, though, aren't they? They're just Man City and they're just too good, aren't they? I mean, they're Man City, they're too good. But I'm going to go in this game with a 2-2 draw. Manchester City 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2. We now go to Arsenal versus Leeds. Now, Leeds, again, won on opening day against Everton. 1-0 by a Lucas Mecha controversial penalty, as they say, and Arsenal beat Man United by 1-0, but that was again we played better than them. We played better the entire time. We were just over them. We'll get on to Arsenal in a minute, but in this game I can see it being Arsenal will probably be strong favourites. I thought in the favourable form, and I'm going to say Arsenal 3-1 win to Arsenal for this game. And we now move to Bournemouth versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, I expect this game to be a tight game here. Home advantage could be crucial, but Bournemouth, if you didn't hear the saga about Antoine Semenyo, we should be his first game here against Liverpool. They were 2-0 down. They came back to when they lost 4-2. But I mean, we cannot be having racism in the Premier League in any forms of the game. Not at all. I mean, on the other hand, Wolves lost to City, like I said. I'm gonna say it'll be a draw of 1-1 draw between these two teams. And we now move to Brentford versus Aston Villa. Now, Aston Villa, I think, could. I mean, their early form is there, and their momentum's quite good. they played Newcastle, who they did beat, but Newcastle had a very bad and poor pre-season. I mean, but I think that it could be an interesting one now for these two. I'm gonna go with and Brentford, as we know, are going through their tough times, or lost to Forest as well. But I want to say this is going to be a 2-1 victory to Aston Villa. Now we move to Burnley and Sunderland. And Sunderland had a winning start against West Ham by 3-0, and Sunderland had an opening day defeat to Tottenham Hotspur. But, I mean, Sunderland are in form, benefit from good fixtures, they do. But, I mean, plus if you had some people like Ballagard and stuff, you'd be insane right now. And I'm going to go 2-1 Sunderland. Yes, you've heard that correctly. 2-1 to Sunderland. And we go to Crystal Palace versus Forest. Now, Palace drew 0-0 to Chelsea, and Nottingham Forest did put 4, or was it 3 or 4? I think it may have been 3 past Brentford on opening day. But but I think Forest will carry on European confidence and claim a narrow 1-0 defeat, 1-0 win to Nottingham Forest. And we now move to Everton versus Brighton. Now, Brighton, as we know, are good. Drawing 1-1 against Fulham, but to be fair, Fulham only scored on 90 plus 5th minute. And again, Fulham love to score late goals. I do not know why it's a Fulham thing. It's a Fulham thing. They love to score late goals. And Forest and Everton lost to Villa, lost to Leeds on opening day. I'm going to say it'll be a 2-0 win to Fulham. No, 2-0 win to Brighton and Hove Albion. We now move to the last game on the Sunday, which is Fulham versus Manchester United. Now, I expect this to be a tough one. Will Benjamin Sesko get the start, or will it still be Mason Mount or Matesco? I mean, we have some positives to take from the last game. Cunha played well, and Burma played really well. I can't say much about Wayenda because it was crap. Hopefully, Onana's going to be back for the next game, so that should be a boost. But I found Fulham. This is going to be a tough one for United. I think a 1-1 draw between these two teams, and we now move to Monday Night Football, and the last game of the game week is, I think it is Monday Night Football, is Newcastle versus Liverpool. Yes, and again, as we know, both the clubs are going through a bit of. Liverpool haven't had the best of Newcastle haven't had the best of pre-season with Isak drama, but Isak has now spoken out on what he thinks of the club. And, I mean, Liverpool going to be out Jeremy Frimpong until after the Inter break because he's been to pull a hamstring or something. But I'm going to go 2-1 to Liverpool. And now, that will bring game week number 2 to an end. And I'll see you on Monday again for another St Albans video. Yes, and then next Saturday we have got a very special one. Either Saturday, Sunday. But yeah, we have a special one to them, boys, and I'll see you lot later. But for now, what will happen in game week number 2 of the Premier League, and will people happen? What will happen? Find all that out and a lot more next week. Goodbye. Let's see what game week 2 has in store for us. Goodbye, boys.